Hi, I'm Lucky Pindamzala Lekwati, the former Orlando Pirates captain. You are watching Talking Football.
Hi you guys, it's Matthew Booth here, ex-Bafana footballer. You guys are watching Talking Football, ZW. Enjoy it.
My name is Edo Bedina, former Ajax Cape Town, Orlando Pirates captain, and Zimbabwe national team. Keep watching Talking Football with Tapua Manungu.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are joined by the legend who needs no introduction at all. He's played for Portsmouth, Manchester City, and he's also captained the Zimbabwe Warriors. None other than Mr. Benjani. Welcome to the show, to Talking Football, Mr. Benjani.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so I just wanted to ask, recently I've seen you've got your UEFA A license. Congratulations about that as well. Take us through, like, how was it like doing it during the pandemic?
No, like I can say this pandemic, it was so hard to everyone, you know, but in a way, it gave us, like myself, I was always traveling to the UK, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and sometimes by doing so, you don't concentrate in a particular, like now, you know, it helped me to concentrate in my coaching pages, you know. Yeah. I did the level 2, 2011, and then whilst I was still playing. So from that time, there was a loophole whereby the Ziffa thing just came across, you know. So yeah. I wanted to take a chance from there, but my ambition was to be a coach when I finished playing. So when this pandemic came, then I was sitting at home, you know, lockdown, everyone was inside, no going, nothing.
Yes.
And then I was so lucky because these courses, they were conducted online to start with because due to the pandemic, you know.
Yes. Yeah. So you were named during your playing career, you were named the Undertaker. You know, where did that nickname come from? I'm just curious because everyone knew you as the Undertaker.
That's a very good question. Maybe you are the third or fourth person that asked me that question. You know, sometimes in Zimbabwe, journalists and reporters, they have their way of reporting, you know. Like one reporter and one guy from Jets, they asked him, because the reporters, they used to say, oh, the Undertaker buried Lancashire again, you know.
Yes.
When you bury something, and I was doing it, like I played like 12 games in Zimbabwe, and I scored like maybe 10 or 11 or 8, if I'm not mistaken. We have to do the research and tell me exactly next time we
next
speak.
Time, definitely.
You know, me as well, myself, I don't know how many goals I scored in the Premier PSA.
Yes,
you know? And then in the next morning, I scored a hat-trick against Wanky. And then I saw in the newspaper, the Undertaker did it again. I'm like thinking, the Undertaker, where is this coming from? And then they expect me because we are bearing teams. That's where the name came from.
The name came from. Oh, nice. So how is life after football? You know, I always think that you retired early. After watching that Vincent Company testimonial, that header, I mean, that was a pure striker's header. I mean, how is life after football?
Life after football is okay, you know, though I don't miss playing. I know most of you guys, you love to ask about the dressing room and blah, blah, blah. The only thing I miss is the dressing room, the atmosphere. You know, I've played in many teams, as you mentioned before. When we are playing, let's say, with big players in the dressing room, it's nice. Teasing each other, talking stories. When you win, the atmosphere, you know. But to be quite honest, I don't miss playing. I just miss it.
You miss that dressing room experience. Yes. So, and also, like, you know, you have an interesting celebration you used to do. I mean, everyone, you know, I was talking to my mate, who's my roommate, is from Manchester, and I told him about you, and he was like, "Oh yeah, I know Benjani." And he did his your celebration. What inspired your celebration, and where did that come from? You know,
That
the classic
celebration,
one.
yeah, that celebration came as a joke. I was still at Portsmouth. I used to share a room with the king, the big man, Kanu.
Uncle Kanu, yes, yeah.
Yeah. So we were watching like British Got Talent. And then one guy from Mexico, he won the show, and he didn't know how to express himself in English, like myself, you see.
Yes.
But he just pointed to the audience, you know,
The audience.
and say, for you, I cannot talk much.
Yeah.
My day, you know.
Oh, nice,
so,
nice.
Kanu say to me, if you score tomorrow, you just point, because this guy, you see, he's saying it's for you, everyone. And then, lucky enough, the following day we're playing Derby in Derby, and
Yes.
then I was the one that scored. Then I took the celebration. After the game, Kanu reminded me and said, "You scored. That's your celebration now. If you followed Portsmouth by then, the second time I scored, Kanu came with me and we did exactly the same
again. Yeah. And it became a trademark.
Yeah, of course. I didn't, because when I did it, people loved it. And then immediately the third game, the journalist, they asked me, "What's about the celebration?" I said, "Okay, it's a long story. I will explain it some other day, you know."
And you're explaining it today. Yeah, thank you. So, you know, it's really
explain this celebration like many times. Every time I'm having an interview, that celebration, oh my God, the story for Redknapp, how I left Portsmouth, the celebration, it's always
coming up. Yeah, I mean, that's the trademark. So how did your interest for football begin? I mean, just take us through your childhood from Lulu Rovers to Manchester City to Portsmouth. Just take us through your childhood.
A little bit, because you just jumped. Because before I went to Lulu Rovers,
Highlanders,
I used to play for the junior league.
Yes.
That's where everything started from.
Yes.
But whenever I'm explaining my journey, I tend to forget when I was playing in school, you know, because when I was at school, that's where it started. I was not a footballer. I was an all-rounder. I was running 100 meters, 200 meters, long jump, everything. You know, at some point, I did 100 meters from the, you know, school competition, from the area, and go to
those districts.
What? I was number one. Then I ended up representing Zimbabwe in Zambia. I came with medals and whatsoever. I think when I'm analyzing what happened to me, I think that's where it started from.
Oh, nice. That's really interesting. You know, I actually didn't know about that, about Benji, the athlete. I mean, we just know about the soccer player, but not the one who does athletics. So just take us through your junior playing days and where the interest came from as well, to play football. Was there anyone in your family who was playing as well?
No, my father used to play back then, because my father is from Malawi, you know, but he didn't like me to play football at all.
Yes.
It was a fight all the time. When he see me playing, or when I'm saying I'm going to football, he could block me and say, well, he knew that we're playing every games on Saturday. So he used to send me to go, and he used to bet in those horses and whatever, you know. he could send me to walk about 4 kilometers, you know, to go. I was staying in Makwekwe Township, but he used to send me across to Ntumbane, about 4 or 5 kilometers, you know. At some point, as I was passionate about football, you know, at that time, I could dodge and say, today it was closed. I will go to play football, then I come back. But at one point, you won the race.
Did he follow you behind?
I was in trouble because he was always checking the results on Tuesday. So on the paper, it was meant to be said, the event didn't happen. But the event did happen. I didn't go and place that bet for him, you know. So it was a mess.
Wow. Yeah, and then you found out. That must have been tough for you.
It was tough. It was tough at some point, you know, how I managed to break through. I don't even understand how I did it, because at some point I was playing for Young Blood, Rubber Bullets from Makwekwe. Then I moved and signed for Highlanders Juniors. That one, it was very difficult for me because I have to walk like 5, 6, or 8 kilometers from Makwekwe to Mzilikazi. And then he knew that I was playing for Highlanders at some point. And then I was meant to be in the house at 6 o'clock. And the training we were finishing training around 5:30, you know, I need to walk, or sometimes I need to board a bus or whatever. All the time I was arriving after 6. So I had a punishment, big one. When I come back home after 6, there was no dinner for me. That was tough.
Yeah, that was tough.
So sometimes I don't say these stories, you know, sometimes I'm glad because you asked about it. But my sisters have to, you know, they are the ones, they were cooking, they have to take them in and go and hide it outside, you know. Then when I'm there, when my dad is sleeping, they will say, go outside there, we left something for you.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting, you know. But so from Highlanders, where did you play after Highlanders?
I went to Lulu. That's another interesting story. You know, sometimes people, they want to know how you went to Man City and how you went to Oxley and whatsoever.
Without knowing the foundation. Yeah.
The guy that took me to Lulu Rovers, it was my teacher from the Makwekwe Secondary School. He was from Chekutu. You know, I was playing where he really liked how I was, you know, playing.
But you always
one day, I was a striker. I think I was better when I was younger than now.
Oh, right.
You know, I used to bang like 6, 7, or every game more than 3 goals.
Wow.
You know?
Yes.
I wish I transformed that into Benjani that you know, but things sometimes they never
turn out the way you want them to.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he took me to Chekutu. I remember it was the school break. We went there and had some trials. I was at Form 3 by then. The team manager and the coach, it was Darovinga, I think he was from Harare, used to coach the team from Harare, the Green Buffaloes, you know, for the security in the jail there, the gun jails. Yeah. And then they said, you know what, when you finish school, sometimes it's the way to make you happy. You know, they never thought that I will come back. When you finish school, you must come back here. Then I took it from there. They thought I didn't want to come there. Or, you know, sometimes you'll be like, you know, it was a motivation. If someone say, I think you are good, but when you finish school, you come back.
Come back, yes.
In most cases, you can
come back.
that will not happen, yeah?
Yes.
But remember, I was not good at school as well. So my dad didn't want me to play football. So when the results were out, I was forced to go and fetch my result. And then I knew, oh my God, I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Only place that will make me survive from this, my church was Chekut. That's how I ran from my place to Chekut. And then I didn't have any money, no one to ask, and my dad didn't want me to play football. I have to steal his radio, sold it, gone.
Oh, that must have been eventful.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, from Lulu Rovers, you went to Zimbabwe Jets?
No, from Lulu Rovers, I joined University UZ.
UZ, yes.
Yeah, then after UZ, that's when I joined Zimbabwe.
Jets, yes.
Yeah.
And that's where you got your first international call-up, right?
Yeah, before I even joined, I was on trial from UZ to Zimbabwe. And then, lucky enough, Westerhoff, that's when he came to Zimbabwe. You watched that game when I was trialing with the Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And I guess I was the first person to be called by him before even I played.
Wow.
The PSL in Zimbabwe.
Really? Oh, that must have been good. But how did you feel getting that call up? You know, you're not playing in the Premiership, and you get that call up. I mean, were you under any pressure to impress, because you know you are coming from the lower leagues and you're being called to the
Not at all, because you know, sometimes if you have ambitions, you know, and wishing to be up there, playing the Premier League, playing the national team, I didn't even understand what's there and how is it to play for the national team. I only realized when I was there, the impact when I was there. So it was a surprise for me when I was analyzing my journey, you know.
Yes.
It came too early.
Came too early. Yeah. And while on national duty as well, you know, you met Brad Jomo when you were playing there in South Africa. I mean, just take us through that time and your move to Jomo Cosmos.
My move to Jomo Cosmos, as I said before, that it was too early, and that was my second call up for the national team, you know, and they were playing against South Africa in South Africa, and then Prajay came to me. Prajay is Jomo, sorry. He came by the hotel. He wanted me and Harlington Sheren. And by that time, Adam of the late, he had he wanted to go with Harry to Switzerland.
Switzerland, yeah.
They organized a trial for Harry in Switzerland, right?
Yes.
And then that's how Jomo missed to sign Harry. He wanted both of us.
Yeah,
and
you know.
He called me. I was after the game. I was in my room. He said, he always called me, Benjamin. Hey, you're talking to Jomo Son. I didn't know him by then. I said, who's Jomo Son? Just come down, we talk. Then I went downstairs and he introduced himself to me and said, I'm the owner of Jomo Cosmos. I want you. Who should I approach? I said, no, I belong to UZ, but I'm on loan to Zimbabwe.
Yes.
And then he contacted them. Then you flew with us back home after that game.
He flew with you right after the game?
He signed me. You know, you can sign a pre-contract and whatever.
Before 6 months.
Maybe I played 3 or 4 games in Zimbabwe. Then I was already a Jomo Cosmos player.
They signed you? Wow, he's a smooth operator, sir.
Yeah.
And then that's when you joined. But how was it like working with Prajay? You know, as you said, you know, he was a big guy and he's still a big guy in the football circles. How was it like working under him?
Easy. He's easygoing. He's like a father to everyone. When he's training, he cracks some jokes, and it's nice to be around.
And you played arguably one of your best football at Jomo Cosmos as well. You were scoring for fun in South Africa there.
Actually, okay, in South Africa and in France.
That's where you
played.
Yeah.
Well, in those two countries, in those two clubs.
Yeah, and we'll also talk about your time at Auxerre, but interestingly, you also missed a chance to go on trial with Newcastle, and you just went AWOL. I mean, what was happening? Because you're supposed to go for a trial at Newcastle.
Where did you get that from?
I did my research. So you missed your trial at Newcastle. What was going on, Benji?
No, these trials, sometimes you'll be missing home, and
Yes.
Jomo used to organize some trials for everyone in the team. Once you're doing well with Jomo Sono, definitely we'll organize some trials. But for me, my journey before I was signed in Europe, I can tell you, it was a difficult journey. Because one, I went to Bournemouth, I didn't sign. Nobody knew about it. Jomo was a smooth operator.
I was about to ask you about the Bournemouth one as well.
Antalya Sport, nobody knew about that. I went to China, nobody
knows
about that. I went to Denmark, Belgium, Switzerland was about I went AWOL when I was meant to go to Newcastle. Okay, I can take to that one because you asked. Yeah. What happened? I was in the national team. I got a call from Jomo and said, can you please ask from your bosses there, because next week you're supposed to go to Newcastle, and we had a game in Zimbabwe against Eritrea. Yeah.
Yes.
So. I think the coach was Sande Maremo or the late younger brother of Sande Maremo, yeah? Mishek, yes. He allowed me to go for trials in Newcastle, right?
Yes.
And then I drove to Bulawayo. Remember, this is the time that I'm supposed to have a holiday and all sort of stuff. When I was in Bulawayo, I thought, no, man, this is too much. I was coming from Turkey, then into the national team. This is my break now. I need to go back to Europe.
Yeah.
Reach my phone. Jomo was looking for me, and he didn't find me. Then I missed the national team game. I missed the chance to go to Newcastle. 3 days later, he called me and said, Benji, what's going on with you? I said, Brachi, I was tired. Too much traveling and this, that. He said, okay, I'll forgive you. But now you need to go to where?
Switzerland.
To Switzerland. That was my 6th trial. Then I went to Switzerland and signed.
But Benji, that's really interesting because, especially for us youngsters, everyone wants to go to the Premier League and will do anything to go to the Premier League. But it's surprising that you actually missed that trial, and you also had a trial with Bournemouth, and they had before who was in form at that time. How was
he was on form? I think he's the one that made me not to sign it, because when I was there,
yes,
he was on loan from West Ham. And about him, I said, oh, this boy is like, oh my God, he scored 14 goals in 14 matches.
Yeah.
So if you want to be in this team, it must be better than this one. Already, that made me like, oh my, I can't. 14 goals in 14 games.
Yeah.
Then I knew when they said, no, I knew that was going to happen.
Yeah. So, and then you had your trials in Switzerland as well. But I'm just going to skip that part. And then I'm just going to ask, how was it your transition from Cosmos to Europe? And And the language barriers as well. You played in Switzerland and in France, the French-speaking countries. How was your transition?
It was difficult. When you come from Africa, going to Europe, the weather is completely different. The language, the food, the culture, everything is against you. So you need to be strong up here, and you know why you went there for, because at some point when I went there, I didn't realize. And as I said, that I was not like looking forward to be a big player in Europe or wherever, But when I went back home after signing with the Grasshoppers, people, when they were talking to me, they gave me that drive. I said, what? You signed with the Grasshoppers? Oh my God, Benji. Yeah, I'm sure we have to grab this. You know how it means to sign in Europe.
So it's the people that you realize
this is the big thing,
Yes.
That's what made me to work so hard to stay in Europe.
In Europe, yeah, I get you. So for you, without people telling you about how big it was, you didn't really realize it was just something,
Yeah.
Oh, that's...
I will give it to my fellow Zimbabweans because they give it a drive. If someone, if you don't know what you are and you don't realize where you are, is like you play in Europe is big, coming from Africa. And then when I was like going to the shops, everyone asked me, how is it in Switzerland? Oh, my friend, oh, you're so lucky. I'm thinking, how is this? I'm so lucky, Then when I was like, going back and analyzing what are they saying, then it made sense for me. Then I have to work so hard to stay in Europe.
Yeah, that's true. And you also played for, like you mentioned, you played for Grasshoppers and you played for Auxerre, and you really made your mark there. You really left your mark there, and you also played in the Champions League. You won many accolades as well. How was your time at Auxerre, and what was the secret behind your form playing for Auxerre?
That one is difficult. Because what happened before I signed for Auxerre, I think is the secret why I did well with Auxerre. When, I went for trials with Auxerre, remember they released me at Grasshoppers, yeah?
Yes.
And then my manager at that time, he was in good books with the Auxerre coach, and Auxerre, they came for training camp in Switzerland. Then he organized that trial for me. I went there, I did so well, I can tell you. That's, we said I went for like 6 different clubs for trials, yeah?
Yes.
But the best trial to me was when I was at Auxerre. And then the coach came to us and said, I'm confused. I want to sign this boy, but I've got a lot of strikers. There was 2 Polish guys from 2 top strikers, including Ciprusise, Fadika. There were many good players there.
Yeah, they were very good players. I mean, Fadika and Cisse.
So what happened? The coach that signed me at Grasshoppers, he was fired, and then he found a new team at Lucerne. So he called on our way back from the trial with Auxerre. He called my manager, said, where's Benji? And then my manager said, I'm with him. We just came from Auxerre, and then unfortunately we didn't make it, I said, no. I just signed with Lucerne, bring him back. I like him,
Yes.
So we went back to Zurich, and we were meant to drive. In the morning, we're driving to go to Lucerne. And then apparently, Ciprusise, the captain, Jan Lashwe, Fadika, Boomsong, they went to see the coach for Auxerre and asked about me. Where's Benji? I think that Benji was good.
Yes.
Then the coach called. I was on my way going to sign for Lucerne, you know. Then we were on the motorway. My coach and my manager just parked the car there and said, here's the opportunity. Folks said they just called. They want you. I said, no, I'm not going there. Let's go there. These people, they didn't want me. They even told me they've got 6 good players. So it means I'm not going to play there. Let's just go there to Lucerne. It's easy. We're about 100 kilometers from Lucerne, you know?
Yes.
We fought. I ended up coming out.
How did he end up convincing you to sign for Oxe?
No. The coach who was meant to sign me at Lucerne, is the one that called and said, Benji, I don't want to lie to you. Okay, if they don't take you to Oxe, you are welcome to Lucerne.
Yes. So
please, I'm telling you, Oxe, they will play in the Champions League. Then now, he explained a lot of things. Then now, I'm like, I didn't even follow Champions League at that time, you know. He explained when he was talking about Champions League, it was not in my mind. I'm like, no, I'm not going there.
Yes.
So we ended up going there, and then I'll consider myself, I was lucky, blessed in a way, because when I was there, you know, I signed on a Wednesday. My first game was Saturday, I was on the bench, and then the top striker, Chipro Sise, got injured, you know?
Yes.
And then I played, I came on, last 10 minutes I scored. And then Wednesday, we were meant to play that first game of the Champions League against PSV.
Yes.
Guess what? I'm starting on the Champions League Tuesday because Chipro Sise just got injured.
So everything was just...
And then that's why now, from that time, I scored in the league about 7 or 8 games in a row, while Chipro was injured, you know? And then the coach, you know, he was so honest. He went to thank the big players who asked about me when I was...
after the trial,
from there, I was like I don't know, a prince, sort of, you know? In Zimbabwe, you all know that I was like strong, big, fighting, whatever. At one point, Joel Lupatla came, I took Joel Lupatla for some trial in Oxe.
Yes.
You know, in training, if you touch me, you kick me, just to kick me, the coach was sending you into the dressing room. Said, no, don't touch him. I was like, hey, you know. So Joe, you know, Joe, I'm not around the village.
Yeah.
Joe akafunza kuti that's ingiro imfana. I'm that, yeah. Panapa kana uchida kudzingwa kana iwe uchida kudzokera futi kuZimbabwe. Indi kick up pamberi pemdara. You go back to Zimbabwe. Akaseka sikati iwe kuZimbabwe tokatemba newe. Panapa utombotachwa how, you know?
Yeah.
It was interesting though.
It was interesting, yeah. But how was the experience, like, you know, playing in the Champions League? You know, like you said, you didn't really know much about it, but just playing in the Champions League, you played against big teams as well, you know. I remember that shot you hit Seaman. You know, I was watching the highlights, you know, it was really good. How was it like playing in the Champions League?
The experience is good, but as I said before, that I never wished or, you know, it just came like that. When I was playing, I didn't read too much into it, you know, it just happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice. And you, after Oxe, you went to Portsmouth, and you know, I've got a lot of vivid memories, you know, watching you playing for Portsmouth, especially that hat-trick against Reading. But I wanted to ask, what was Arsene Wenger's influence with you signing for Portsmouth? You know, I always hear that Arsene Wenger was instrumental in you being signed as well by Portsmouth. How far true is that?
Yeah, that's true, because Arsene Wenger is French. And you know, sometimes, let's say you want to sign a player from Zimbabwe. if you know me, you can call me and ask about knowledge or karma, you know.
Yeah,
then I commend and say, oh my God, that's a good player. Go for him, sign him. You know, that's what happened. They were always talking, you know, like the one from Liverpool as well, the one that signed Cisse, Gerald Houllier.
Yes.
You know, so they were always in.
They were
talking.
always in communication.
Remember, not only me, from that group of Auxerre, Arsene Wenger, he signed 4 from that group.
Who else was signed with you from
Auxerre?
Yes.
Sanya.
Bakary Sanya?
Yeah. Diaby.
Abu Diaby, yeah, he was a very fantastic player as well. You know, unlucky about his injuries.
The other 2, they were not signed by Arsenal though. Yunus Kabul was signed by Tottenham and ended up playing with him at Portsmouth. The other one is Sissoko, that played in Liverpool.
In Liverpool, yeah, I remember him.
That
yes.
shows you that these French managers, they were connected. You know, they were like
agents, kind of agents.
Yeah.
Yeah, and signing for Portsmouth, he had a tough start, you know, 0 goals in 14 games, Bench. And, you know, how was that for you? You know, just, you know, you're a striker, you know you can score goals, but it's just not happening for you. And what was Harry Redknapp's word to you, you know, when things were not going well?
That's I will laugh because sometimes that time when I signed for Portsmouth, it was so difficult because the team was not good enough. You know, I couldn't blame myself. Even the coach was telling me, so keep working hard and we try and not to be relegated. But next year, I assure you, I'm gonna sign some good players. Maybe you will score more. That's how I was fighting, working so hard, and.
But how do you keep going, Benji? Like, you know, the newspapers are writing. You know, you were signed for. It was a good amount. You know, it was a high amount. And
yeah, but there is let me catch you right there. There is sometimes when you're playing football, you play with your heart and you love football.
Yes.
Whoever says negative about you, remember when you play sometimes, you are there to entertain the fans and whoever and to enjoy the game. It's just like a musician, yeah? Sometimes you can go there and doesn't sing well, but he is there to entertain you. So whoever say, no, it's about this, that won't, you know, next time I'm like, okay, I'm gonna entertain them more. You understand? It's love and it's an example. I don't know if someone can see if it's a good example or what, but to me, playing football is passion, is love, is entertaining fans. So whether you are writing good things or bad things, I don't read too much into that. I concentrate with my work to better my work, to work hard so that I can be the better.
Yeah. So for you, it didn't really bother you that streak, you know, 14 games, because you know nowadays when players are playing, you know, there's social media, there's Instagram, there's Facebook.
Now it's difficult because they read too much into social media. Because remember when we were back home, they used to say a lot of stuff. Oh, this, that made our mind to be strong, you know. I knew that even if I'm playing well, someone will just shout at me and say a lot of stuff, you know. And then if you concentrate and listen to them, it means you will never do anything. Remember, you need to come out and be strong and say, okay, now I'm gonna control and score.
Improve them.
If you are scared and say, oh my God, because be yourself and just be strong and and play your game.
Yeah, that's good advice, especially to us aspiring footballers as well, not to read much into people's comments, but to gain motivation from that. But yeah, after 14 games, you ended up scoring against Wigan, a decisive goal that kept Pompey in the Premiership. How big of a relief was that,
Everyone was relieved. Even myself, even written up, we were left, I think, with one more game or two games, I don't remember so well. He just said to us, we have survived. It was on a Saturday, right? We were in Wigan, in the dressing room, celebrating. He just came and said, guys, I see you on Friday next week. We play Liverpool. We don't care for this game anymore. I will see you on Friday. He gave us like 5-6 days off.
5 days of
Go
rest.
enjoy yourself. We meet on Friday. We just train and play Liverpool game.
Wow, that was crazy. And the following season, I mean, you guys had a decent team as well. And over the years you played for Portsmouth, you had very good players you played with, like Sol Campbell. You played with Kranja. You played with a lot of good players. Sally Muntari as well. You guys had a good partnership. I mean, how was it playing with those big stars as well,
But I was used, remember, I was in Auxerre. No one knew about France football by then. When we are surrounded with big players, they give you confidence. If sometimes, if everything is not going to way, but when we are surrounded with big players, any player can turn a bad game into good, It's not, when we are alone and say, hey, Benjani Chaita this, Benjani, but if you are surrounded with the big stars, you don't have that pressure.
Yeah.
You always rely like Nakanu or Nasuli Muntari, or, even if you are there, even if you are a man, but if you are surrounded with a good players, it's easy.
It's easy to play. Yeah, I could see. I mean, you were free scoring all the time. I remember, like I said, that hat trick against Reading, and you scored a couple of hat tricks as well in the Premier League. Which one was your favorite one, by the way?
Both.
Both of them.
In the Premier League is something else,
Yeah, for me, I would choose the Reading one. I mean, I really like that one. And that game was a classic 7-4. And they always play it, every time I see it all the time on the classic. So that was a very good
balls, I still have those 2 balls. Every time when I go home, I check them. I say, oh my God. And those 2 football boots that I scored the hat trick with, I have them.
You have them. Oh wow, that's nice. That's really nice. And you also won the FA Cup with Pompey, and it was really
Where did you get that from?
Then I was old enough. I was watching. I actually remember you guys winning it. I was.
To me, I know they sent the certificate, and they gave me the city of what all the players that win the FA, they give them the freedom of city and whatever. They sent me the medal. I was at Man City by then. I didn't, even now, I don't say that I won FA Cup, but on paper I won it.
Yeah.
Maybe in Zimbabwe now with this boy from Leicester, Bruce, and myself, But
Yes.
the one that I love more is the one that I won in France, because they are all the way because in France I won 2 French Cups, and then the football of the year in South Africa.
Yes.
Those, always remember.
But what's your best accolade in football? The one you say, this was my best ever accolade.
Best player in South Africa.
Why do that one?
When you win something, of course, in Europe, when you are surrounded with good players and luck at that time, you are bound to win something with a good run. Cups, sometimes you need to have that good run,
Yes.
But in Africa, in South Africa, it was my first season. And as I said, I wasn't like wishing to be the best. And it just happened, when even they told me that, it's you now, non-vet in Chabupule. Maybe you're gonna win this one. I'm like, I didn't even follow it. Jomo Sono called me and said, come and collect your award. We're meant to go and play in DRC. Say, just come one day, then you go back to your national team. I said, you can go and collect it from me, you know? But afterwards, when I was checking and said, oh my God, that was good. That's why I love it more than anything.
I can see you are really easygoing, you know. I mean, players like you are rare, you know. You're not focusing on any accolade. You just want to play. You're enjoying the moment. You know, players like you are very rare, you know, especially nowadays. And yeah, I'm just going to ask as well about the move to Manchester City, about the Redknapp story. But before I ask that, you know, how was it like playing under Redknapp? I've seen a lot of interviews, like even Sleven Distin saying that, you know, everyone plays for Harry Redknapp. He's like a father figure to everyone. But how was your experience playing for Harry Redknapp?
Harry Redknapp is a good motivator. He's like a father to the players. You know, if like your father is supporting you and come and tell you, you know, son, we are the best, you know, without you here, this team is nothing. But don't forget that you are saying that to everyone. If I come as a coach and tell you that you are the best player in this team, do you know that you cannot go and tell another player that the coach said I'm the best here? So you keep it by yourself and try to fight for him. For me, that is a good management. He knows how to
good man manager.
Bring everyone together. You know, he knows how to manage the dressing room. You know, he knows how to motivate. You know, I don't know how to say. He was.
So do you still keep in touch with him until this day?
Yeah, sometimes he calls me and we go and have coffee. You know, he likes me so much. Or sometimes I call him. You know, sometimes he's. When I call him, we say, Benji, where are you? I'm like, I'm at home, coach. Okay. Now I'm busy. You know what? In 2 days, I'm going to call you and have coffee and we chat. You know, we still chat like you'll be remind me with what we did there. You know, we talk about current, you know.
Yes. And I'm going to ask about... Oh, nice. Yeah, of course, I've heard a lot of good things about him from players he's managed as well, watching their interviews. But just take us through that transfer deadline day, where you slept through flights and then you almost didn't sign for Man City. Just tell us what happened during that day, Benji. You know, people have a lot of mysteries about what happened that day.
That one is a difficult one. But one thing for sure, I didn't sleep at the airport, you know. There was a lot of things happening, you know. Sometimes when a deal like that is going to happen and a lot of things is happening, if I ask you something, what comes in your mind is what you will just say. And the people, they tend to pick that one, you know. So I won't say much on that one, but I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll take your part. But like, you know, besides that as well, I mean, how did you feel? You know, it's like you're enjoying your football at Portsmouth, everything is going well, and suddenly, like during that day, you're told you're leaving. Like as a player, how do you process such, and how do you manage to? Yeah, just to process that.
No, you know, I will keep on repeating the same thing all the time, you know. Like that, it came like, you know, it was, we played Man United, we won a Wednesday, that quarterfinal, that the FA Cup.
FA Cup, yes.
Then the deadline was like on a Thursday, midnight, the following day.
Yes.
So, if someone comes to you around 12, 11, we were about to board the flight going back to Portsmouth, and then someone say, I think someone, Harry came and say, I think something can happen tomorrow. Man City wants you. Just passing, you know? Yes. I took it as a joke, you know? It's like, tomorrow it won't happen. And, you know? Then we went back to Portsmouth, and then around 11, 12 in the afternoon, then they were serious again. And he called me and said, Benji, you need to go. Can you imagine? Now it's like 8 hours to go. We are still in Portsmouth. You need to do the medicals. You need to do, a lot of things happen. So you can imagine.
Yeah, it must have
was cool. And then I didn't decide that I want to go whatsoever. And then, you see, it was a nightmare.
Yeah, it must have been a lot for you to process during that time, I mean, I can relate. But the good thing is you signed for Manchester City, and on debut, you scored. And that was the first win in 34 years, if I'm not mistaken, at the Old Trafford for Man City.
Mm-hmm.
And how was that, like instant success? The players...
All the time I would go back again. I didn't even know that, but yeah, everyone knows that Man City and Man United is a big tap, That's why sometimes I said before someone was interviewing me, I was shocked seeing them sending some bodyguards for like 3 weeks or to a month or 2 weeks. I can't remember very well.
You getting threats, or why did they give you bodyguards?
No, they thought that since it was a big game, because it was their 50, remember their 50 year of
yes.
remembering, and then 34 years without a win, us there. So it was a big thing, for us. So they thought maybe something can happen to me. By then, I was lost. I was like, why? I spoke to the police. I said, no, it's fine. I can walk to the city. Don't worry about me. But,
But how does that make you feel? Does that make you feel special that, and, like walking, like you're saying, walking in the street, how were the fans treating you?
I don't like it when I'm like, when I'm like going with the podcast. I don't like it to like feel special,
Yeah.
So it was strange, like going with some bodyguards, like, what for? Sometimes I could tell them, okay, wait here, there are some stores whereby the 2 entrances. I would say, I just want to buy something quick. Then I go the other way. But now they were like always watching me. They saw me, I was about to cover there, they followed me. When the bodyguards, they will be like, with you all the time. All the time,
yeah. But yeah, it for me, I would say it really didn't work out for you at Man City. And what are some of the lessons you learned? After that, it really didn't go as well as you did at other clubs. Why do you think it was hard for you at Man City?
Because there is you are asking some very, very good question, You're
on the spot today.
Yes, you did a month or so ticking and right. At Man City, I didn't do well. The reason being, I think I was injured for a year, 9 months with my quad. Remember?
Yeah.
I signed that 6 months period. 2008, the beginning of 2008, I didn't play at all with an injury.
Yes.
And then that's when everything was happening. Now the big players were coming, the likes of Adibaya, Tevez, Balotelli, Yaya, everyone, and you are injured. And then the quality that is coming is better than me. Already, I didn't do any impact. Of course, I scored that goal against Man United. That was only impact. It's fine. That was good enough. But going forward, what did you do with City? Nothing, because I didn't play much. If you can check my record, I played like
20.
Not more than 25, only 23. But the other 7 came when I was like coming on, but I was injured already, So that explains that.
And you also went to Blackburn, I'm going to skip, you did Sunderland as well, and you did Blackburn. And, you went to Blackburn and, like I was talking about, that week you scored, there's a week you scored against Chelsea and you scored against Liverpool. I remember the fans were chanting that we don't need Ronaldinho anymore, because I had you guys were linked to Ronaldinho at that time. But you scored, the fans were singing, we don't need Ronaldinho anymore, we've got Benjani. How was that for you? I mean, you seemed like you were enjoying your football, playing with guys like Hoylet. I mean, you was a good player as well. How was it for you?
That's why I said before that fans, they always enjoy when you're doing well, and then don't listen to them when you're doing well, because when you're not doing well as well, they are bound to talk bad things as well. So don't listen to them as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I didn't put it in my mind. It was just like, I'm here to entertain you. You paid your money to come and support us and be entertained. So let's enjoy and move on.
I mean, what was your secret, Benji? You always hammered those big teams every time. But yeah, I'm going to ask this as well. Were you a natural finisher, or you had to stay extra hours as well on the training field?
Remember when I said at the beginning of this interview, I told you that when I was young, there by the juniors, I used to score more than 4 or 5, 7, 8 every game. That tells you that it was there in blood,
Natural instinct. Yeah, I could see that because, especially there's one goal against Liverpool, you got it, your back was against goal, and, turn and shoot, that was pure instinct, striker's instinct. You didn't have to look with.
I scored more than 10 like that.
Yeah.
I think I scored like 4 or 5 like that. Portsmouth, I can remember, I scored that one with Blackburn. I scored with Newcastle, 2 times with Newcastle. I scored with Tottenham like that. Dortmund as well at Auxerre,
Yeah. So, I mean, that's really good. I'm going to come to you for some tips because this coming season, I need some calls like that as well. So, and I also wanted to ask this question, not many African players last in the Premier League, but how did you manage to last that long? And, diet, did you have a specific diet as well? And just tell us about the mental strength that's needed, playing in the Premier League. And also, how did you manage to last that long? Because most of our players, and especially in Southern Africa, we don't have many players that last in the Premier League.
In terms of diet, I could eat whatever I wanted to eat. I was blessed on that one. But I used to sleep a lot, that's for sure. When I finished training, I used to go, we were training like 2 hours in the morning from 10 to 12. Yes. So I was come back straight home, had my lunch, then I sleep for 3-4 hours. Then I wake up, maybe I watch TV a little bit, hang around waiting for the dinner. Then I sleep, Sometimes in Europe, you need to be disciplined. You need to rest a lot as well,
Yes.
That's key. If you rest a lot and have discipline,
you'll be fine.
You'll be fine. I tell you.
So so now we're going to talk about the Warriors now. So now we are moving on to the Warriors, and you've also played in the AFCON 2006. How was it like playing in the AFCON, and why did you think you guys didn't make it to the next round? You guys were close, of course. I mean, especially with that Joe goal, I remember watching it, and it was very heartbreaking. But what are some reasons why you think you didn't make it to the next round?
I think it's the maturity to play that tournament.
Yes.
That made us not to qualify. Sometimes let's take a look of what the Warriors now. Yeah.
Yes.
These boys, they've been together. I tell you, if the next AFCON, if we say they failed, I'm sure they're gonna go to the next stage. Because now they are used. They've been there 2 times in a row. Now they are, and the last time, we heard there was some issues of they were not being paid. They were fighting until the last hour. Sometimes those things they distract. But we all learn from the mistake. I think the Ziffer guys now who are there, they have seen the mistake there. I think they will correct it.
Fine.
I will advise them to start searching for the AFCON bonuses or whatever they need now.
Yes.
So that when time comes, they won't be blamed. We want to put the blame to the players. You understand? Because sometimes maybe players, they won't be playing well and say, why go in a save us in a the whole night what you fight or all. So at this time, we want to put the blame to the players. It's also healthy to blame the players, but in Zim is the opposite. With it has say, but now we want everyone to be involved so that we can improve. Though it's difficult because football is Tamba with Zimbabwe, but I'm hoping they are pushing so hard with Bora return.
Yeah, and talking about the Warriors, the last episode we had of Talking Football, we're actually interviewing Coach Loga Rusic, the Zimbabwe national team coach, and I asked him about these chances about qualifying for the World Cup, and he was quite confident. How do you rate our chances of qualifying for the World Cup? I mean, our group, we have South Africa, we have Ethiopia, and we have Ghana, an opponent you know very well, and you scored against them the last time we played Ghana. So how do you rate our chances?
That group is difficult, I tell you. But in football, nothing is impossible. And we've got a good team as well. As I said, we need the good preparation. Yes. We need to be organized. And these boys, they need to put their mind in there. Something distractor or whatsoever. And remember, when you are playing against the big teams, they are the easy one to beat if we are organized and we are willing to do an extra mile. You understand? So They need to do that. They need to concentrate and work so hard to organize everything. Preparation, you have to be spot on. Remember, you need to tick all the boxes to win a game. So if we have 7 boxes and then you tick 3, you are bound to lose. So now you need to be prepared and tick all the boxes,
Yes. Yeah. So Benji, I'm just going to put you on the spot again. So throughout your career, I mean, you had a long career, but I would say who was the toughest opponent you faced, especially in the English Premier League? Who was the toughest opponent?
There are two. The John Terry and the Vitic.
Yeah, those were really tough defenders. I mean,
really tough. Remember when I was playing here, my game was based on power and everything, and those ones, they are strong and power. I always struggle. Even Yabo for Everton, he was powerful as well. So sometimes I knew when I was playing against the Vitic, Man United, I was running away from him, going to Ferdinand. I knew Ferdinand was not that tough. He was smart in playing and reading the game so well. But I wanted to fight with him because he didn't want to fight.
Yeah, he was more of a fighter.
I knew if I go there, hey,
yeah, Nemanja Vidic, I mean, I enjoyed watching him play. I mean, of course, I'm an Arsenal fan, but, I enjoyed watching him. He was a really good defender, and we really have those players nowadays. So just tell us, I mean, we're going to move from football now. We're just going to talk about your foundation as well. I understand you have a Benjani Mwaruwari Foundation. Would you mind telling us a bit about your foundation?
Yeah, the foundation, that goes back to what you are doing in Zimbabwe, to support where you're coming from, So whenever I have the chance, it's in Zimbabwe, if you have a foundation, you need to take from your pocket, But here, if being run so well, if you approach the corporate and then they help you to do something, But I'm working so hard to make it But whenever I have the chance, even from my own pocket, I try and do something back home. I love to give back where I come from,
Yes. Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice, and I really commend you for that. It's not something easy to do, but I mean, you're doing it, and we keep praying that, you know, you are blessed so that you bless others as well. And that's really good. And, you know, recently, like I was saying, you got your UEFA A license. And I mean, what's your vision going forward with that qualification? I mean, do you want to coach? We saw you as well trying to contest for the FIFA elections as well. And now you've got a UEFA A license. I mean, what's your vision with that, bench?
Yeah, my vision to learn more. You know, sometimes we learn every day and work hard and try to be the best, you know. So obviously, the fact that I've acquired the A license, I want to coach, obviously, but I need to learn more, you know, slowly but sure. But don't get me wrong. You know, sometimes if the opportunity come where some people, they will think that you still don't have the experience there, why not try?
Try, yes.
Yes, but as you say, my target is to learn more and get there. You know, sometimes as I said before, if I was meant to learn more playing in the PSL in Zimbabwe, maybe after 5 years I was never gonna go to Europe. But it happened within a year. I was there, gone. Lucky sometimes you need a bit of lucky sometimes, you know. So in football, anything can happen.
Yeah,
and
that's
when luck is in your side, we pray.
we pray. But yeah, do you in future, do we see you maybe coaching the Warriors, or do you see you coaching in Zimbabwe? Is that one of your goals in future?
Every coach in this world is their dream to coach their national team. Remember, the national team is there.
Yes.
And then when you are standing there, the whole country is looking at you to do something, looking at the players to do something. Is that thing that you know, that drive. You know, sometimes when I coach, let's say you tell me I go to coach maybe cheaper in South Africa. Sometimes the coaching cheaper or whatsoever, you don't have that. But in the national team is different. Everyone is watching, you know, they want you to win. There are some people, of course, in every successful person, they still have some negative somewhere. So, but as I said to you, but don't concentrate about negative. Try and be the best, work so hard, and you will be fine.
Yes. And I've also wanted to ask this, Benji, just to hear your take. You know, you were a product of the junior development. You played in the junior league. Just how important is junior development in ensuring that our national teams are competitive? Because, you know, you see in our country, we don't really have the structures, the proper structures that other countries have. But how important is junior development when it comes to our team going forward, especially our national team?
If you don't have that development, we will never see the next Kama, the next Chunga, the next Peter, or the next good players. You understand?
Yes.
You start there.
Yes.
So if you don't manage that, that is where we're supposed to start. Because without the development, I'm telling you, we are finished.
Anyway.
We are finished. Even if sometimes, if you ever see, and even you take a big tree, if you go and in some trees, you cannot take it and go and replant it again. You need to put that seed. To be that tree, there was a seed before. Remember?
Yes.
So if there is not that seed, nothing will happen, my brother.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. It's really crucial having a good junior policy, because, you know, like you said, that's where we can replace our players. But now, especially our players are getting in the other side of the 30s. It's gonna be hard to replace.
It's supposed to be like a circle.
Yes.
Like going round and round, is, you know.
Yes.
No, that's these other ones there. You see Musonas and the Kamas and whatsoever, who are close to them at the moment. Because now we should be like having the under 23s, the best ones that are challenging to, you know, when Mkama is playing and say, oh, there is a young Ngoni coming up here, I need to pull up my socks. But if there is no Ngoni that is like pushing him to play good, you'll be like, Even if sometimes it's not well, you know, you would just say, but anyway, I'll play till I'm 35. No one is coming to challenge me, you know. So we need to have that thing. You know, the under 17 have to push the under 20. The under 20 have to push the under 23. The under 20 to push the national team.
Yes.
You know, it's supposed to be like that. That's a competition in every age groups.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, that's really true. And yeah, I mean, so what is your advice? You know, like I said, you know, many young people watch this show, and what is your advice to the young aspiring players who want to reach the levels you've reached as well?
The advice I always say, there is three. They need to work hard, discipline, determination.
Yes.
If you don't do that, discipline, determination, working hard, you will never make it in football. Don't get me wrong, though. There are some other players who cannot do these things and be the great, but they are few. But the motto is to do those three.
Oh, thank you so much for that. And I'm pretty sure they're hearing what you're saying, and they all put that into consideration and into action. So my last question here, Benji, is like, you know, we've recently had guys like Kadewere playing in France, Munetsi playing in France. We have Nakamba playing in the Premier League as well. Do you actually have you ever had an opportunity to talk to them and advise them on the Premier League and how it is, and the French league, since you know those leagues very well?
Yeah, I sometimes talk to them, I call them, but there is also a danger. You know, sometimes if you try and highlight a lot of things, you confuse somebody sometimes. He's here. Remember when even his coach, maybe sometimes us coaches, when we are back home, we have a way of like coaching. If you ask him, the coaches here, they don't talk much. They know that already on this level, you just need the proper training, and where you make a mistake a little bit, then they highlight. You know, I can tell him that my boy, you need to work hard, be disciplined. The rest will follow, because with ice Popeye, it was never easy. So 85% he knows what is supposed to be done. Okay, I can give you just a guidance, like as a striker, you know, I will tell you something, Kuti. I will watch you, Kuti. How do you attack when you're heading? If I see a little bit something, you know, remember when you are a striker, you need to time very well the cross and the defense. If you pull off when you are running, the defender cannot come back. That is a tip of a striker. I will tell you that when you're doing the headers, run with the defender like this towards the goal, yeah? And then you stand. The defender will never come back.
Come back, yeah. That's a really...
That one, your wing backs, they must know that this one is bound to stop, so they need to make a cross coming to you. So you go and stop, the defender will just run. So that's a tip that I can call and tell you. It won't disturb you, it won't confuse you, you know?
Yeah.
But I always talk with them, but not always, maybe here and there, you know? But sometimes they call me and, you know, we just chat, not about football, because they need to relax, you know? Like Nakamba, everyone is watching, he wants him to be, you know, there'll be like comments there. He need to just not listen to the negative and concentrate and be positive and play his game, as well as Musona and Kadewere and Marshall, you know?
Like the trick you were saying, I mean, it really works. I mean, I've seen it, you doing it, you're getting the best of Karaga, especially even during that testimonial for Vincent Company.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, Benji, thank you so much, you know, for joining us. I mean, I really appreciate your time. It was a really nice interview. You know, I learned a lot, and you know, it's something that I'm going to use also in the future. The advice you've given us, and thank you so much for joining us on Talking Football. And any last words you have for us, Benji?
No, I think we have touched everything.
Thank you so much. With you, we can go for 3 hours talking about your career. 1 hour is not enough. So, but thank you so much. Maybe another time we'll come back again and we'll touch on the things we didn't touch. But thank you so much, for coming to the show.
You are welcome. Maybe you are dangerous. Next time I'll be prepared. You'll be like,
be prepared. Next time I'm going to be putting you on the spot, and I need your best 11 as well for players you've played with over your career. So you have to already prepare it.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.